You hear hardly anybody today talking about how that Donald Trump is simply continuing the same thing that most presidents have always done down through the years in this country, and that is supplying and supporting Saudi Arabia with weapons and making money off Saudi Arabia. And Donald Trump is continuing that. And what most don't notice, it seems, or don't understand, is that when he was running for president, he said Obama was doing that. And he said it needs to be stopped. And you're going to hear him in his own words, that he was against Saudi Arabia, and he said Saudi Arabia was funding and supporting and harboring terrorists. And you're going to hear Donald Trump come out and say Saudi Arabia. Everybody, he says, everybody knows Saudi Arabia has been a supporter or a sponsor of terrorists. So let's go ahead and listen to that audio.
Some of our so-called allies that we work with and we protect them militarily, they're sending massive amounts of money to ISIS and to Al-Qaeda.
So
and
who are you talking?
okay?
Who are you talking about there?
You know who it is. What do I have to bring it up for? You know who it is.
Because you're running for
Other
president. Are you
countries,
talking
hey,
about the
Joe,
Saudis?
Joe, other countries are giving massive amounts of money. People from other countries are giving massive amounts of money.
Are you saying the Saudis are doing this?
Of course they're doing it. Everybody knows that.
Okay. Any other countries?
There are, but I'm not going to say it because I have a lot of relationships with people. But there are. And you know that, and everybody knows that, and nobody says it. Nobody talks about
but
it.
you're not even saying the countries that are doing it right now. Why aren't you willing to name those? You say you have a lot of relationships there.
All you have to do is check your records, and our government knows the countries, and one of them happens to be Saudi Arabia, and our government knows that. And why aren't we doing anything about it? Why aren't we being firm as to why are we allowing that to happen?
So why don't you think we are?
What?
Why don't you think we are doing anything
Because
about it?
I think we have an incompetent president. Bring it up for you. Know who it is.
Now, he just said that Obama is incompetent and he's not doing anything about Saudi Arabia in their sponsoring of terrorists. Folks, Donald Trump made a deal with Saudi Arabia for $350 billion. And right off the bat, $150 billion of that. And just, I believe it was just today, see if I can find this for you, where the Prince of Saudi Arabia, the Prince of Saudi Arabia is, see if I can find it for you here. The Prince of Saudi Arabia is in the United States, in Washington, and Donald Trump is sitting there bragging. Is this it? No, that's not it. Sitting there bragging about, here it is. This is it, I think. Yeah. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. He's sitting there bragging about what the deals that he made with Saudi Arabia. Here he is bragging about them, okay? This is Donald Trump, the one that said that Saudi Arabia was harboring, supporting, sponsoring terrorists. Why did he change his tune? Why did the message change? How come nobody's grilling him over that? Nobody's asking him why he's changed his tune about that. Because there's so many people in this country that stand to gain. Nobody's saying anything, especially the media. They're not going to say anything, folks. So let's go ahead and play a little bit of this. This is from today. This is today. And you can tell that, by the way, this prince in Saudi Arabia, he's full of hate. And you can tell he hates Donald Trump. And he hates Americans. And you can just see it on his face. There's such disgust. And constantly while he's sitting there, as he's listening to Donald Trump, you could just see the disdain. So, you got two snakes sitting there. And, one of them wants to kill the other one, while the other one's thinking that the other one's its friend. Well, Donald Trump is pretty naive if he thinks that the crown prince of Saudi Arabia is his ally. But let's go ahead and listen to this.
States is there. I guess it's your big investment is buying stock in companies and various other things in the United States and creating jobs. We've become very good friends over a fairly short period of time. I was in Saudi Arabia in May, and we are bringing back hundreds of billions of dollars into the United States, and we understand that, and they understand that. Some of the things that have been approved and are currently under construction and will be delivered to Saudi Arabia very soon, and that's for their protection. But if you look in terms of dollars, $3 billion, $533 million, $525 million, that's peanuts for you. Should have increased it. $880 million, $645 million, $6 billion, that's for frigates. 889 million, 63 million, and that's for various artillery. Some of the things that we're now working on, thanks, and that have been ordered and will shortly be started in construction and delivered. THAAD system, $13 billion. The C-130 airplanes, the Hercules, great plane, $3.8 billion. The Bradley vehicles, that's the tanks, $1.2 billion. And the P-8 Poseidons, $1.4 billion. And what it does is it really means many, many jobs. We're talking about over 40,000 jobs in the United States. So we're
Okay, so Donald Trump says we need to do something about Saudi Arabia and their sponsoring of terrorists and helping ISIS. He said that when he was running for president. And he said Obama wasn't doing anything. He said Obama was incompetent. Now he continues to work with Saudi Arabia just as Obama was, and more so. But the money that Obama said that he was going to give to Saudi Arabia, Donald Trump, the business that he was going to give to the $350 billion that the United States stood to gain from selling weapons and other things to Saudi Arabia, that was Obama's deal. And Donald Trump simply finished the deal, folks. And you can go back and you'll see the Clintons. You go back even further, George Bush Sr. You see all these presidents, they're all working with Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia, Muslims, their ideology is to destroy us. Do you think that the Saudi Arabians are any different than Iran or any other Muslim nation? Absolutely not. They are sponsors of Wahhabism. And Donald Trump very well knows that. And yet, he does a deal with the devil, so to speak. And notice how Donald Trump was focusing on 40,000 jobs. In other words, he's using this to bring money into the economy, to bring jobs to America. He's arming our enemies. Essentially, he's arming our enemies, people. The very ones that have vowed to destroy us. He's arming them. If we go on and listen to another video here, but we're not going to, but there's another video where the prince is speaking and at the table, and Jared Kushner, they're all there, and Tillerson, the general is there, Mattis, and anyway, the prince says, if it wasn't for us, basically Iran would be destroyed. And he's saying that's why we're a target. That's why they consider us a target. Because if they took us down, then they could take down, all the rest of the Middle East. Because of the money, because of the power that they have. And I'm thinking to myself, well, there you go, Donald Trump. If you put sanctions on Saudi Arabia, you'll cripple the whole region. You'll cripple that whole area. But instead, he's doing business. He's doing business, people, with the most corrupt kingdom on the earth. The most corrupt kingdom on the earth, which I believe that man of sin, that wicked, is going to come out of. But I'm going to tell you, people, all because of what? Money? Money? The love of money, the root to all evil. Okay? That's why Donald Trump changed his tune. That's why he went from saying we need to do something about this, we need to stop Saudi Arabia, and every now and then you'll hear Donald Trump saying, you all need to be chasing the terrorists out, you need to be driving them out, you need to be getting rid of them. And Donald Trump would make us to believe that by arming Saudi Arabia, that Saudi Arabia is going to do something about the terrorists. Make no mistake about it. The only thing they're going to do is help the terrorists. And we know that under Obama and Hillary Clinton that we armed ISIS. In fact, we developed ISIS. So you're telling me Donald Trump's going to do something different than all these other administrations? What a joke, people. What a joke. So there it is, right there in your face, as plain as day. Donald Trump saying one thing and doing another, and he's arming our enemies. It's just a matter of time before they're going to bring it here. Are you listening to me? It's just a matter of time before it's going to come back and bite us, people. Oh, yes. The snake, the Saudi Arabian snake, is going to come back and bite this country. And I think that possibly some of these bombs in Texas may be just the beginning of that. Well, it's late. I'm going to go ahead and quit there, but think about this.